Morning. I'd like to start the meeting of the Nevada Irrigation District, July 25th, 2018. Could you please join me in the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this time we'll have public comment. You'll have 3 minutes on items that are not already on the agenda and within our subject matter jurisdiction. And please keep in mind that as directors, we cannot respond to items that are not on the agenda. Therefore, we do not respond to items on public comment.
Thank you.
So silence is no admission. You'll have 3 minutes.
Good morning. My name is Karina Benskin. I'm here to air a grievance against my family by a personal agreement that was made between my family and your general manager, Rem, who did not honor that agreement. So first, I will provide you with a timeline on the unethical negotiations.
Did you provide them to me?
I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier.
So my family, which included myself, Karina Benskin, as trustee for my father's estate, and my real estate appraiser, Larry McCoffey, my dad's grandson, Jeff Barton, Marissa Boer, his granddaughter, were invited to a meeting with Dan Ketchum, your real estate appraiser, Rem Scherzinger, your general manager, and Doug Roderick, your senior engineer. That was in November 2017. Rem looked me and my family in the eye, and he made an agreement. And that agreement was, you proposed 3 appraisers, real estate appraisers, and I proposed 3 real estate appraisers, and then we'll agree upon 1 appraiser, and then based upon that appraisal, NID will purchase my father's property, which is in your Centennial Dam project zone. So I'm harmed in 2 different ways, my family is. The first way is no one will look at the property because it's in your dam project zone, and the second way we're harmed is that the price is affected because it's in your dam project zone. So sorry, I'm very upset because my father passed away, and it's very emotional.
Go ahead.
So the bottom line is, I had someone, your general manager, look me in the eye and make an agreement, and then he didn't honor the agreement. So you have 2 choices today. You can either fire the liar or purchase my property. Those are your 2 choices.
Okay, hold on. Please.
Okay?
Go ahead.
So I provided a timeline. So Dan Ketchum unethically gave me an unfair market price value back in August of 2017. This is on the Gantt chart timeline so you can see it. Then we had a board meeting with you in November 2017 in which we were lied to. I provided you 3 appraisers. You provided me 3 appraisers. Dan Ketchum had unethically influenced the 3 appraisers. That's why your 3 appraisers weren't selected. So that's weasel issue number 1. And then I knocked out all your appraisers because they were biased. So now I have no confidence in this negotiation process with you. Everything's been unethical from the beginning. So then you signed an appraisal. You confirmed an appraiser with Perry Costas as a neutral third party. I didn't know the gentleman. You didn't know the gentleman. He's out of Colfax. No one knows him. I purposely selected someone out of the area so no one be influenced by NID because they all want to do business with you. And so Perry Costas provided an appraisal. And here's the bottom line, why didn't you want to agree with it? Larry McCoffey gave an honest appraisal in the fall. In the fall, the market's not as hot. It was $555,000. And then you didn't want to take the $640,000 appraisal. And now my property isn't selling because of you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good morning. I'm Roger Hicks. NID is a valuable resource for the community, and I'm giving these comments in that context, and that I want to see it thrive, and I think everybody in the room does. Rumors are flying in the community that John Drew is resigning and that you may have a pre-selected candidate. And I'm here to ask for a commitment for an open process with no interim appointments. Now, I don't know if these rumors are true, but I can tell you the cause of the rumors, 2 things. One is the Orchard Springs campground incident, and the other is the NID meeting schedule. NID has had only one board meeting in the last month. That was on June 27th. Normally the board meets twice a month. The regularly scheduled board meeting on July 11th was canceled without explanation. The Maintenance and Resources Committee meeting was scheduled for July 24th, also canceled without explanation. The board meeting on August 8th has been canceled, so the next board meeting won't be for another month on August, or till the, about another month, August 22nd. So all of that has people talking and asking what's going on. John isn't here today. So I'm asking, will you put these rumors to bed? Put them to rest today. I hope that we, the public, can trust our NID board to do the right thing and go on the record that should Mr. Drew resign, there will be no backroom deals before the election. Maybe this is all just complete poppycock. I don't know, but I can tell you a lot of people are talking about it. Please tell us that we can count on you. I'm asking that you promise us you will let the voters decide with an open election in November, because anything else really would be unfair to the other candidates and appear like a power grab, especially with the filing deadlines so close. They're only a few weeks away. It could have the appearance that the board is picking Mr. Drew's successor instead of letting the voters do that. And it could also taint whatever person the board has appointed, or the board appoints, if this happens. So I mean, I'm wondering, have any directors participated in discussions about a potential successor or about this? If so, could there be any potential Brown Act violations? And to the public, I ask you, do you want to choose your new board, or do you want the present board to pick a director? Should you choose to appoint a new director, it may be seen as patronage and a power move. And I think that the community deserves innovation at the NID board and not a dynasty. Please tell us we can count on you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Marin Lipwood, Cedar Ridge. Anyone who'd like to join me in the Earth Pledge? I pledge allegiance to the Earth and all the life it supports, one planet in our care, irreplaceable, with sustenance and respect for all. Today I'm wearing the Living Water Cohort crown because, in the interest of promoting an open, collaborative process, I am suggesting that the Raw Water Master Plan be transformed into the Living Water Cohort Plan in a real intention and follow-through that meaningfully works with the stakeholders toward a healthy water future. On Friday, July 13th, a roundtable discussion, Water Management for the Bear-Yuba Watershed, was held locally. The main takeaway from this event, presented by Drs. Vishal Mehta and Sam Sandoval-Solis, was that the most imperative ingredient for water management success and effectiveness is an open, transparent process that includes robust and consistent involvement and contribution by the affected communities. On Saturday, July 14th, an op-ed by William Moorbeck, NID Board President, outlined 4 working groups to achieve the goals of the Raw Water Master Plan, 3 directly controlled by NID, and 1 under the guidance of an NID-selected facilitator. Interesting timing, considering the workshop from the day before was centered on the need and effectiveness of a real stakeholder process. This is typical of the closed and autocratic methods employed by NID when faced with repeated requests from both the community at large and from the local, vital, informed water agencies who want and urgently need to be a working part of decisions for our combined water future. As stated in the op-ed, the chosen participants must be willing to discuss, understand, and explore an array of alternatives. If Centennial Dam is considered as one of these alternatives, the raw water master plan cannot be objective. Centennial Dam is
Time's
meant
up.
to be continued.
Good morning, Diana Suarez, Colfax. I rise again to ask for the NID board to show the video, Kumimseu, River of the Roundhouses, available on Vimeo.com, or return it to me along with an answer to my request of March 14th, my letter of April 25th, and a second letter on June 27th. It has been 3 months that I have been waiting for a written response. I rise again to speak on behalf of the Placer County disenfranchised stakeholders who stand to lose their homes and properties, our 250-acre Bear River Park and campgrounds, day use and group camps, local economies, displaced residents' financial ability to continue to live in our beautiful area, and access to the vibrant, living river ecosystem that is Bear River Canyon, the real resource that is diminishing. These people will not be represented in your raw water master plan hoax. This is the public who was promised fishing access on this river in perpetuity. The big question here is NID capable, quote, to identify a community vision for the NID service area and the district's customers and present a pathway of action to achieve that vision? The answer is no, because NID has refused to let go of the ongoing Bear River property purchases and is still planning to spend another $4 million this year for their beleaguered Centennial Reservoir. Their, quote, pathway to storage enhancement is ugly and obvious. NID is using Nevada County taxpayer money to purchase properties along Bear River and have spent $12 million to date on an ill-conceived, massive infrastructure project without a feasibility study, environmental documents, or water rights. This raw water master plan is another attempt by a group of people who keep trying to get it right but are unable to let go of the ideas of the last century and the river-killing dam and boondoggle reservoir they have mindlessly committed to. It could be that new perspectives by new board members may transform this attempt into a legitimate program planning document that takes into account the general plans of both Placer and Nevada counties, as well as the conservation easements and public land involved. In order for that to happen, the Good Old Boys provincial fiefdom needs to be repurposed as a nonprofit special district that is focused on serving the public by providing low-cost water and serving the land by adhering to county general plans, conservation easements, and the recommendations of a diverse public that does not stop at the district boundaries. This, quote, vision will not come from the heartless, closed-minded know-it-alls currently populating the NID board.
That's
The
it.
winds of change are in the air and the water.
Thank you.
Good morning. Michael Hillweld, resident of Division 1. I have two items that I'd like to focus on this morning. One is that I predict there will be questions about the warrants, which is on your consent agenda. There's almost always...
I'm sorry. I didn't hear you as people were talking.
He was worried about
Go ahead, Michael.
the warrants.
I predict there will be questions about the warrants, which is on your consent agenda tonight, this morning. There's almost always questions concerning the warrants, and so I again repeat my request that to improve transparency, the warrants be made one of the routine general orders that appears every meeting rather than on the consent. Regarding the raw water master plan update, I've been attending board and committee meetings and the County Ag Commission meeting to get more information on the process, because the general manager has given a very general description of the process, saying details will be decided after the facilitator is selected. So imagine my surprise when I looked at the July 14 Union and found the chair's op-ed piece in which he provides details concerning this process that hasn't been discussed at either the board or the committee meetings that I've attended, including details such as the 4 working groups are named, there's reference to a charter being written, and there's reference to a timetable. All of these decisions have been made by whom? The chair, and where? Not in board meetings, not in committee meetings. And what opportunities for public input have there been? None that I'm aware of. We've been talking about improving NID's transparency for 2+ years that I know of, that I've been attending your meetings. I urge the board to take steps to include the district's residents in your decision-making process and to make your decision-making process transparent, not hidden. And I would urge you to read the Citizen Participation Handbook that the General Manager has referred to. The opening sections are very important about how to build trust. I'm not sure the board appreciates how little trust it has from the community. And I urge you to take substantive steps to start building trust. Thank you.
Good morning. I want to tack on to Michael's comments. George Olive, Nevada City. Sorry Rem is not here this morning. On April 25th, General Manager Scherzinger smoothly presented a process for the rewriting of NID's central plan document, the Raw Water Master Plan. Mr. Scherzinger appeared to make commitments to a process that, in his own words, would be open and transparent and a full-on public process. He said that NID would be agnostic to the end result and welcoming to all ideas, and that he recognized that it's hard for a governmental entity to be open. This surprised me. He acknowledged the receipt of a well-known how-to book which describes examples of and steps involved in implementation of an objective, minimally political, public-facing, problem-solving process. Clearly, Mr. Scherzinger understood that this book's process would allow a public agency to sort through information, data, opinions, and a range of priorities, generating solutions built from community expertise. Even more surprising was Mr. Scherzinger's comment that he intended to, quote, move the RWMP process into the primary position. For this, and the claims above to be true, for the Raw Water Master Plan process to actually look at the full range of data and at the, quote, full pantheon of solutions, close quote, then, of course, the Centennial Project has to be set aside. For NID to be agnostic and open, Centennial cannot be a preset solution. Unfortunately, those of us who were taken in by words spoken by NID leadership on April 25, especially those of us who have experienced objective, science-driven decision-making, are increasingly cynical. Did May, June, or July bring any public meetings in which NID began to roll out its, quote, open and transparent process, close quote? No. Instead, we get a union opinion piece telling us how the RWMP will take shape. 3 committees controlled by NID, 1 community group chosen by NID. Is there any thought of a stakeholder forum? Has the Centennial Dam been put on hold? No. Property acquisition continues, apparent demolitions are occurring on acquired properties, and NID directors continue to make public comment about Centennial being the only way to protect water rights. NID could, like other California water districts have, engage hydrologists to generate watershed modeling without a solution bias. That's how science works. Today, the trust that NID leadership could earn with some fact-based dialogue feels mighty distant. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tim Carson. I live on a private road in Placer County. The road that the proposed new dog bar road would come down. It would go through 3 of my parcels. and destroy our way of life. Our home is built on our 120 acres, pretty much in the middle of it, so we wouldn't have close neighbors. We'd have privacy. We could enjoy the wildlife, the water life of the Bear River and Griswold Creek that goes through our property. If this project happens, all of that would be destroyed. And we are definitely against it, as well as my neighbors are. We need to come up with a better solution to conserve water. Other methods are available. I see no reason for this reservoir destroying the beautiful Bear River Canyon below us and the wildlife. On another note, it's my understanding that because NID is approaching people to purchase properties, that by law they are required to pay up to $5,000 to get for the private individuals to get appraisals. And obviously no one's telling the proposed sellers this information, but I'd like to put it out there that it is, I'm told by my attorney, a law on the books. And again, myself and my family are definitely in opposition to this project in any way, shape, or form. You know, it's ridiculous. You need to look this over again and come to a better solution to have water reserves and conserve water in a better manner. Thank you.
Excuse me for a second. Is there a way that some people could come in and sit down to keep the doorway open there? Huh? That's only, I think we have a couple of chairs here. Somebody wants to sit down. I'd like to keep the doorway. Yes or not listening. I'd like to keep the doorway open there. That's our only way of, getting out. So there's seats right here if you'd like to sit down.
There's one over here.
Here. Sorry.
No worries.
It's on your time.
It's on your time.
It's on my time.
Yeah.
It always is.
No, it isn't. Thanks. It's just a habit of mine.
There's a seat here. There's a seat up front. There's a seat there.
There's a couple here. No one's going to hurt you over here. All right. There you go. Thank you for doing that. Okay. Ready? You on?
Nicole Ragland, Nevada City. Good morning, directors. Nancy, I hope you recuperate quickly. Elected officials are more likely than appointed officials to pursue policies that are in line with the perceived preference of the electorate. From a principal-agent framework, elected officials are more immediately accountable to voters, whereas appointed officials are accountable to the municipal bodies that select them. We're just weeks away from the filing deadline. If you choose to appoint a person, you are unfairly influencing an election by giving them an unfair advantage, as they would be on the ballot as an incumbent. This board should support a fair and open process should Director Drew step down. No one from the public has been given the opportunity to put their name forth, not even the person who is running for the possibility of an open seat. If the rumors are true, and the person who is the choice of this board is seated, usurping the democratic process, the only power left to us would be to boycott and relentlessly protest in front of their business, if it's the person that we think it is. And so I would hope that the board would leave the seat open until the election. Nem Sale. Thank you.
Thank you. Start.
Morning. My name's Melinda Booth. I'm the Executive Director at the South Yuba River Citizens League. And I want to first thank General Manager Rem Scherzinger and Director Wilcox for attending an event we held on July 13th, Water Management for the Yuba Bear Watershed, a roundtable discussion. It was really great to have them there. I was excited to learn and discuss best management practices from two highly qualified experts that we brought in, and I believe it was a step in the right direction for our community. So thanks for participating. As you've heard from some others, shortly after, I believe it was the next day, the union released an op-ed by Director Morbeck that detailed updates about the raw water master plan process that we hadn't heard about until then, such as the 4 committee groups that will be controlling the process, the NID Board of Directors, a community-based public advisory committee, an NID technical analysis group, and an NID public outreach group. Circle remains concerned that the raw water master plan is another way for NID to try and justify building Centennial Dam, especially since NID continues to spend money on the project and has allocated another $2 million to spend on Centennial in 2019. We'd like to reiterate our request for NID to put a moratorium on spending towards Centennial Dam while also working on the raw water master plan. We really feel that this would be a step in the right direction towards building back public trust in our local water agency. In addition, I just want to share that I found it a little bit unsettling that new information about this process that we've been talking to your general manager about from an op-ed rather than through official channels such as a press release at an NID meeting, via an email notice, etc. Wanted to share that feedback. And finally, I was asked during a public forum last week, I was speaking at the Nevada County Agricultural Commission meeting, and one of their commissioners asked me whether Circle had a seat at the table in the raw water master plan process and how we would be participating. And I responded that I didn't know because we hadn't been formally invited to participate in such a process. Director Wilcox then actually asked as well whether Circle was committing to the raw water master plan process. And once again, I had to say that I couldn't answer because I didn't know what I'd be committing to specifically, since Circle hasn't been contacted or given any sort of detailed info as to how we would be invited to participate in the process. So I'm really excited that folks out there think that Circle should be at the table, and it sounds like we're wanted at the table. We do expect to be a part of the process, and we've shared as much. But I wanted to urge clear and direct communication from NID with the public and the stakeholders such as Circle. We want to be engaged in the process. We urge NID to contact us directly through more formal channels in order to determine what our participation will look like so we can best serve the process. There's been a couple rumors that we heard about this morning that I'm just learning about, and I understand that they are rumors. However, I would like to throw in my 2 cents to not make an appointment should that come up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, board and staff. My name is Tracy Sheehan, and I'm with the Foothills Water Network. I have a few comments. One is going to be very brief. I wanted to recognize Susan's work with NID for the past 30 years. Did you mean for me to do it at a later date?
No.
Okay, and I'm using up my time. Okay. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so frankly, and then off that subject now, coming here today, and it of course there are rumors, but the rumors are really swirling about the community. And we're here today, and I'm here to echo Roger Hicks' comments and Melinda's, that we need a fair and open process to make sure that, people have said, and George Olive said about trust, there is definitely, we know, a trust issue here. These rumors do not help in any way. So I would ask that there must be a secession policy here. And I think we need to look at what that is and understand that. Yes, let's look at that policy and see what it says. But please, if you could commit to making sure that someone is not put into place and simply appointed, that would be wonderful. The next piece is actually, I'm sorry because I can't hear myself in the mic, so it's kind of confusing. The next piece is on the raw water master plan, and I would urge the board members in your role over the next few weeks and months in looking at what the work plan is for the raw water master plan and thinking about what those steps are. So today we heard about the opinion editorial, and I would urge you to stop selling the raw water master plan. I mean, that's basically it. We've spent many years in this room being sold, and the public has been sold on Centennial Dam. Get out of the box of thinking of selling something to the public and get in the box of process. Get in the box of how we can actually engage people at a meaningful level. Think about the work plan and take everything off the work plan that says sell, opinion pieces, public relations, and think about adding in a stakeholder committee, adding in meaningful conversations with active participants. Those few actions are worth many, many, lots of good trust. So we start there and do it. And then finally, there's an elephant in the room, and I can't address it adequately in my 20 seconds. And the elephant in the room is Centennial Dam. We all know that $1 to $2 to maybe $3 million was already spent on Centennial Dam analysis. Parts of the draft are in hand. The data and the analysis is known by NID. And then the raw water master plan begins. NID needs to include that analysis, and this will be brought back again another day. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert Hain. I live in Placer County, and I would like to talk to you about the water spill that took place at our place on Vista Roble on 7/8/18. Apparently, it ran down the middle of the road. There was significant damage. I have talked to Chip Close about this. I did write him a letter as to what needs to be done. But with all the board meetings that are going to be canceled here for whatever reason, it's gone into the damage control where it's got to be approved by the board. We have a bar ditch has disappeared. Also, we live on North Ravine, which has now been considered by Placer County, United States Department of Fish and Wildlife, and California Department of Fish and Wildlife as steelhead habitat. We have probably 200 to 300 feet downstream of contamination of mud and rock that was washed in off the road. NID is aware of this and are working on it. They seem to think that it's a burping problem within the pipe. But when I came up there, it was a steady stream of water coming out, probably like 20 cubic feet a second going down the road. So it seems to me like there might be more work going on, but we would appreciate it who live on Vista Roble if these repairs could be done. And I know you guys probably aren't aware of this because it's working its way up. But anyway, in your absence, maybe we could push this thing through so that we could get the repairs done. Like I said, it is dangerous. The bar ditch is probably at 2.5 feet in some areas. All that material has gone into North Ravine. So I appreciate your looking into this and trying to take care of it. I know it's been a problem ever since you put in the siphon. It runs over all the time for whatever reason, whether it be debris in the pipe or but I think it could possibly be a small design problem because of the height that has to go back up from Mount Vernon to get to Shanley where it discharges. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Robert.
Sir, can you repeat your name for me?
I'm sorry, Robert Hain, H-A-N-E.
Thank you.
Okay, is that it? No more? No more? Okay. Oh,
Good morning, directors. Mike Pasner, Indian Springs Organic Farm, Penn Valley. We okay?
Yeah.
32 years. Farming organically with NID's water. I've been reviewing the warrants. Number 7013, project facility balance for Centennial. Check number 86888, $1,512,695. It says for Centennial Water Supply. Who knows what that is? We should be seeing updates every 2 weeks on how much money is being spent on Centennial, what's being done with it, and how this project is being dealt with, since there is not even a plan for how it moves forward. Next from the warrants, 616 to 6.
Hold on a second. The warrants are coming up next. This is public comment.
All right,
And the warrants are on the agenda, right?
would you rather hear about it from then?
Then
It's
We'll
quick.
do it later.
Well,
Marvin could answer them.
yeah, we need to pull the
Yeah.
warrants from consent agenda, and then we can discuss individual items.
That's correct.
Okay, we'll bring those up then.
You ready, Mark?
Well, right after public comment is done, we're not, I think we're, is
Well,
there any more public comment?
well, just speak into the
Yeah.
speaker, please, because I
Yeah,
agree.
I think after public comment, we can do that. So,
Okay.
So you want to come back and do it
I'll
then?
come back with those 2 comments then.
Okay.
I want to thank John Drew for his service. It's in the community's best interest that John resign at this time. Let's have an open and honest process to replace John Drew, not an appointment before an election. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so that ends public comment? Apparently not.
Morning. Pamela Osgood, Ridge Road, Grass Valley. I'd like to just ask that you wait, since we are having elections anyway. There'll be new people on the board anyway, probably, that you act responsibly and not appoint somebody in the interim. It would be very responsible thing for you to do and very democratic. Also, I'm asking again for you to show the film, the 13-minute film. I'm not sure what the hesitation is, but there's some kind of hesitation because, you know, I think you guys do want the public to trust you, and I don't think that you have the right people, the right if Circle isn't included in your decision-making process, then something's really screwy. So I'm just asking you, as a citizen here, I'm asking you to look inside yourself and see if you can't say, well, there is another way that we can be more responsible to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that ends public comment. So now, where are we? We're on the consent agenda. So are there any items that we need to pull?
Here I am again, a request.
Yeah, I would recommend we pull the warrants in deference to Mike.
Okay, pull the warrants.
Pull number 3 and number 4, please.
Pull number 3 and 4. And where are we? Operations Department job description and Engineering Department staffing change, correct?
Right, thanks.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the consent absent the 3 pulled items?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Division 1,
Aye.
Division 2,
Sorry, absent.
Division 3,
Aye.
Division 5,
Aye.
Division 4.
Aye. Okay, warrants. Marvin?
Well,
Do we have?
did he get the question?
Yeah.
You understand the
Yeah,
question?
Mike, why don't you restate your question?
Yeah.
Mike, my questions first?
Yeah, so he knows what he's talking
So
about.
he knows what to respond to.
Mike Pasner, Indian Springs Organic Farm, Penn Valley. There are a lot of questions with the warrants, the expenditures. The first one was the Centennial Water Supply, is stated the check number 86888 for $1,512,695. It says Centennial Water Supply. What's that for?
He's not, so give him a chance.
You want to hear that
No, let's go.
one by one, or you want me to
Yes,
state the other
give,
two?
Give him a chance.
Okay.
I think,
Well, he's not gonna.
go ahead. You guys can take that.
Otherwise, it's. Thank you, Marvin.
Do we have a page number on the warrants, where this might be?
Good morning, Board, public and staff. This, Mr. Pasner, is the cumulative year-to-date expenditures for the project. It's not an individual warrant. So it says that as of this year, 1.5 million and 12,000 has been spent on the project within the authorized budget.
4 million.
Okay. How many questions do you have?
Just 2 that I'm
Okay,
going to bring up
go
at
ahead.
this time. I noticed an expenditure from 6/16 to 6/30 for the herbicide, the aquatic herbicide Nautique. This is an elemental copper-based herbicide that's put directly into 350 miles of irrigation water. They spent $17,000 on the Coutrine, which must mean you have enough Nautique to finish off the season since you use them together often. There are many expenditures for these herbicides, and I'd like to know what they are and how we can get a list of them at board meetings often.
For operation.
That's almost a, would that be almost a
Yeah,
two-part
operations
question?
versus Marvin.
Yeah. What page
Although-
number was it? Was that one?
You will have to get back. It's actually Friday.
That's okay. I think that perhaps is an operations question. He's looking for the individual invoice describing what we purchased. But I get the individual invoice. Perhaps, I don't know if he's looking for why we purchased it. Or
What's the question?
The question is how much Nautique and Coutrine are purchased in a year? This is a 1 month item apparently.
Well, I don't think that can be answered right now with that. I'm sorry. But I guess
We can come back. with
we
that.
can get back to you on
Is
that,
that a
Michael.
Brian question?
It's a Brian question.
Not operations,
Right.
here, maintenance, I guess. would be
Yeah.
the-
Mike, I think we can come back with that answer
Thank
through
you.
Brian at the,
Okay. Any more questions?
I do have a question. On page 3, no, it's 2. All seasons weed control for Rollins and Scotts Flat. What, it does say spray, so did we hire an outside group to do this spraying? And if so, why did we do that? You need a number?
yeah, is this the all
866.
seasons? All seasons weed control?
Yeah, that's it.
866. In terms of why we actually use this vendor, we'd have to look perhaps if there's a contract for this vendor, or perhaps if it followed our procurement process in terms of why we selected this vendor. This just merely shows that we did use this vendor for these types of purchases.
But that is unusual, and so I don't need to know immediately, but if you could,
recreation. Okay. Just,
It's got a retention payable associated with it, so it would indicate that we've contracted for this particular vendor.
okay,
Marvin,
so I do
Marvin.
have a question.
It looks like, I think Jacqueline might have an answer to this.
Okay.
So, Jacqueline, Longshore Hydroelectric Department. The all-seasons weed control and the spray, we do have a contract with them to do spraying on locations that are on NID land for dam safety purposes. FERC does require that there is visibility on the dam so that we can make sure there's no holes or other maintenance needs on the dam. So we have hired an outside company. The maintenance department is quite busy with their vegetation control program, so these smaller locations, we do hire a private contractor to do that spraying.
Is there a coordination with our veg management, our other veg management
There
program?
is communication annually. Any of the regulatory reporting, we do provide the records of that. There's recommendations that need to be written and then records of what was sprayed, when was sprayed. And so part of the contract is for the contractor to provide that, and they do the county reporting.
Who oversees this group? Do you in the hydroelectric department oversee it, or
Yes.
does our veg management?
This one contract is in the hydroelectric department.
Okay, I can deal with this later. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions on the warrants?
Yeah. One of the issues I have with some of the warrants and the wording is the demolishing of properties
Which
that,
warrant are you talking about? We can't
I
really.
believe it was Dog Bar and Magnolia area. I don't have the number, but
really
if I was a property owner and you purchased
Wait a
my
minute.
property.
Hold on. When you come up, I'm sorry, but we can't really answer vaguely. If you have a warrant that you can identify, then we can talk about it, but we can't generally talk about this right now. I mean, it's...
Well, there was only one warrant that had the word demolishing property in it and a building or a structure. And my point is that to state something like that, if it were my property, it would break my heart to see someone go in there and demolish what I had owned. My second issue is the clarity of the financial reports. Numbers bulked together with no classification or clarity as to what they refer to, what's included in that number. I mean, questions were just asked by the board, what was included in those amounts and what they referred to. And here again, we have no transparency to clarify all that.
All right.
Thank you.
Can you state your name once more?
Any other questions about the warrants? Specifically about a warrant?
Yes, it is specific. Thank you. Hi, Ricky Heck, Grass Valley. I have two comments about the warrants. First of all, I was present at a meeting, I think it was in March, where Director Weber specifically asked to have the warrants not be on the consent agenda, but to move those to the general orders. And we've not seen any answer or movement either way. And I'm wondering if that is something that we still think is necessary. I think so, given the interest. The second thing I want to follow up on this gentleman's, there were two warrants there for demolishing, and Chip was kind enough to help me look through, but there are two warrants there. One was for the dog bar, one was for Magnolia property. I looked them up. Both appeared to be mobile homes. But again, you know, it is the specter of NID continuing to spend money, and now they're buying homes and demolishing homes. You know, you guys, that's just not good.
I don't know that that's the answer. I don't know.
Oh, well, that's what the warrant says. The warrant says demolishing.
But I mean, I think we're just identifying what was done. If we had an explanation, we don't.
Well, is there anyone here from engineering or whoever
want to know?
that can talk about it? Yeah, I figured Gary would know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get specific.
Yeah, but so you are demolishing, and I think that's Gary will.
I understand that, but I want somebody to explain.
And just to maybe chill everybody out just a bit, I wasn't here last time because I went to the leadership conference, and one of the big things they talk about, and I've always tried to do as best as I can, my time is busy as well, is when this happens, what we're doing right now, people get jumped. They don't know the question. They could be submitted, the thing's out for a week. They advocate at the leadership conference for directors. They chastise, well, don't just jump them in the meeting. It's hard. It puts somebody on the spot. Marvin's on the spot here scrambling, and everybody's trying to figure out. If your concerns could be done in advance of the meeting, it's just a courtesy thing, and then it can be better answered. It makes us sound vague and ill, you know, but it's just because, like, what warrant are we talking about? I'm just,
you know,
I hear everybody,
Director
and
Miller,
I would like to move in this interruption that we do take the warrants as we used to do, put them back as a general order. So I'm making that motion now, but I'm just saying in the bigger picture of things, you know, give a little lead time. I've tried to do that in the past. I'll call up and I say, hey, I'm going to have a question about this warrant. And then that way people know what it is and they don't have to fumble around and be nervous, right? I mean, that's all I'm saying as a courtesy for everybody in the workplace. And with this interruption, I apologize, I would like to formally move that we in the future and go back to that other method where we have the warrants as a general order.
I agree, Mr. Miller. May I address this question, Mr. Chair? Sure. Okay, thank you. I agree with you. And I can speak personally, but I know that we've heard from others that when we communicate with NID, it goes through REM, and communication is often delayed. And the answer that I personally has received with almost every question I have raised is, we're going to consider this a Public Records Act request, and therefore we have the statutory timeframes with which to respond. So I rarely get answers to my questions.
Personally, I encourage anybody in my division that has a question about any doggone warrant, call me, and I'll submit the question.
Right.
I mean, there are ways.
Right.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over here. This is all news to me today, too. But just, there's ways to do it where we can let people, and then we have an answer.
Well, I agree. It's a wonderful process.
Showmanship
If,
without
if in
substance
fact,
is
the
what
public
they
could get
say
answers.
at
Yes.
this thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I went, I listened, and what
I hope
things
to
are
go
saying.
myself. Thank
Right,
you.
no, and they're saying when the directors do it, it's showmanship without substance. So, all of us, I mean, just, if the general manager's not answering, you have an elected official, have Nancy, I don't know if yours is Nancy, I mean, just call us and we'll submit it. And then it will be done, but it gives staff lead time in their defense. I mean, they're just here, they don't know what all of a sudden they're, whoa, I gotta speak in front of everybody. I mean, it's.
Got it. Thank
That's all I'm
you.
saying. And do I get a second on my motion?
I don't know what it is. Could you restate it?
To formally put the warrants on the general orders.
I'll second that.
Yeah. We'll take it, no, I just took a minute to make a motion. You can draw your vote when you get it. This thing's bizarre today. I don't know what's going on with everybody.
Okay.
I shouldn't have taken a week off.
I'm done. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Right
you.
on,
But
right on.
but I would like to hear, because Mr. King said
Gary-
he has answers.
Right. And I was kind of doing that.
About the demo.
Ricky,
Thank you.
Ricky,
Yes,
thank you for engaging. It gives them a chance to gather their thoughts too. I mean,
agreed.
that's,
Totally.
which
I
would be the
totally
point of
agree.
giving them a 24-hour, 12-hour lead time. So,
I agree.
right on, girl.
Thank you.
Like Gary.
You could just
Yes,
briefly
we are
mention.
demoing properties.
Just,
And we're demoing properties because the fact is, people, that when you leave a property open, some of these can't be rented. Guess what happens? The homeless move into it. They have a little fire in the corner. Set a fire and set the place
So
on fire. What?
specifically, you're saying there
We
was
are
fire
demoing
damage.
some of the properties we cannot
Be
re-rent.
specific to these ones in question, please.
Yes, we demoed it because it has the risk of the homeless or other type of vagrants moving into the home. And A, we have to do a
And-
lot of mechanisms. Second off, it creates a danger to the environment. The fact is, as you know, there's a fire issue. That's it.
asked and answered. Question about a warrant.
Diana Suarez,
What
in light
warrant?
of the last comment, I would like to point out that you're
Wait a minute.
ruining our communities over there by imposing this on us, and then we're having these kind of property
hold-
problems.
hold on.
I would like to also
Hey,
add,
hold on, please, just 1 second. We're talking about a specific warrant. If it's
Yeah.
not, if that's not it. do
Okay,
it
I'm
during
talking
public
about
comment
demolition
Or do it
warrant.
during another period of time.
Okay.
This isn't the time to come up.
Why not?
Well,
Vaguely, because I
she's
said
saying
so,
it's
that's
about the
why.
demolition.
it's about the demolition.
Okay, go ahead.
You just-
Okay,
You
you
use that
come
to
into our
mention it.
community, you're
That's why.
chasing all the people out.
Yeah.
Now we have a homeless problem,
Well, I didn't
and you're
understand it.
demolishing our properties. This is not right. And the other thing I noticed is you expect the public to go do all this homework and look up these warrants. You're the ones that are getting paid to do this stuff. We're not. This is being imposed upon us. We take off work, we take away from our families to come over here to make it to these meetings, and then we're supposed to do homework and look up warrants. You know, there's no warrants on this that I was given, and I hear about this stuff, and it deeply disturbs me. And then you talk about transparency, and you're telling us to do the homework, and you telling us not to ask questions because the staff didn't get a warning. What about the people? What about the people and the public that you're supposed to serve?
Question about a warrant.
I'm Eunice Stevens, and I live on the Colfax side of the Bear River. So my question is, why are you buying the properties if you can't rent them, and why do you need to demolish them? Why would you even buy them in the first place?
Question. I'm sorry. I mean, that's just beyond this. Okay. I want to ask a question of Dustin about your motion here.
Oh, I'll restate it if you wish me to.
No,
Just tell me
no,
to
I just-
restate
I
it in
just
a minute
don't
and
know
I'll
that it's
restate it.
agendized, and I don't know that we have the authority to vote on that right now.
No, it's okay. Essentially, you're directing staff in
Okay.
future meetings to have this item be classified under business.
I'm just checking. Okay. All right, we'll cover that at the end, all right? We'll do that at the very end.
I'm easily.
You got a question about a warrant?
Yes, Marin Lipowitz, Cedar Ridge. I have numbers. 14438 Magnolia Disposals and 1540 Dog Bar Road Demo. And my question is this a precedent setting? Has this been going on all along? And how many other properties have been demolished? And what have been the nature of the properties? Are they all mobile homes? Maybe Mr. King can answer.
You would direct who
First off, I don't have those details at this time. I'm happy to get
Gary,
Yeah.
at the mic, please.
We don't have those details at this time. We are demoing properties, I've admitted to that, and we are doing it because it's a health, safety, and welfare issue. The basic thing is if they want, we can give a summary of what we did. A lot of it is those demo and disposals, the disposal of miscellaneous materials that are laying throughout those properties that some of them are hazardous, canned, old stuff. When the weeds start dropping, the garbage starts showing in this community. So in essence, when you start having the summer come in, you start seeing all the stuff that was covered up by winter growth. And we see a lot of it. So that's what we're doing. Any more comments on that, sir? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, Nancy?
Mr. Chair, can I ask one request on a agenda change item?
Please state your name.
My name is Greg, Assistant General Manager, Greg Jones. Can we move up, if we're done with this item, would we mind moving up the employee recognitions?
Yeah, I know,
so that
I'm
we can
sorry,
get
but
our
just
employees
kinda-
back to the
Yeah,
field
I
as
feel it.
necessary? If you don't mind, sir.
I don't mind. Please. There is a...
Where are we done? But we're on warrants.
I don't have any more questions on the warrants.
Well, let's suspend. Are we done?
Wait a minute, we got a lot of things hanging here.
So you have a pending motion to instruct staff
I
to...
can resubmit that for everybody's convenience. That's fine.
You have a pending motion to instruct staff to have this item be agendized as part of business at future meetings.
Vote on it.
You do not have a motion yet considering approval of these warrants.
Right, I know that. So your request was to move that and then have the introductions to get that out of the way so they can get back to work.
Following the two pending items on the board, the approval of the warrants and the motion on hand. And then instead of looking at items 3 and 4, instead of items 3 and 4.
Gentlemen, I can only listen to one of you at once.
Go ahead.
My recommendation is that we move to approve the warrants, and then move the agenda, the item that Director Miller has proposed, then move to special orders with employee introductions and recognitions, then come back to item 3 and 4 after employee recognitions so that our staff can move on with their daily work.
I move to adjust the agenda per the acting general manager's request.
Second.
Roll call.
Division 1.
Aye.
Division 2. Sorry, did it again, absent. Division 3.
Aye.
Division 5.
Aye.
Division 4.
Aye. Okay, recognition of employees.
You still have the two items.
Yeah, I move that we approve the warrants. I think that's the first item of business.
Second.
Division 1.
Aye.
Division 3.
Aye.
Division 5.
Aye.
Division 4.
Aye.
And then we still have one more motion on the table, instructing staff to put the warrants in our general orders.
Was there a second to that?
I believe Nancy seconded.
I did.
Okay. Roll call then. Are you ready? Division 1.
Aye.
Division 3.
Aye.
Division 5.
No, I believe that
the vote.
having them on the consent agenda and pulling them as needed works fine. We used to have it as a general order item, and we, years ago, stopped doing that because there was really never any conflict or questions about them. We can always address them.
And Division 4.
Aye. Employee introductions. Who's going to start? Bob?
Take weight off and everything.
It's a long
Job description?
Good morning, board, public. Bob McDonald, Raw Water Superintendent. This morning, I have the honor to acknowledge Gary Mills He started with the placer crew as a utility one on April the 30th, 2018. Gary brings a decade of experience from Carmichael Water District. Gary's position at that time was titled as a distribution operator, where he was responsible for the maintenance of the distribution system, water services, hydrants. Gary also developed skills with mapping, boring, and locating, as well as the excavation processes needed to maintain the system. Gary jumped right in with the crew on a mainline extension that they were performing at the time on Magnolia Road, installing as well as driving dump truck, as well as hauling material for the remediation of a section of the Cambio for Ford Canal that will no longer be part of that canal's delivery system through private properties. Prior to joining the district, Gary has also had some time in the auto body trade. Gary has rounded his technical skills with the education and possession of a D4, T2 certificate, as well as a Class A commercial license. And on a private side, when Gary's away from work, he's a busy family man. He's either camping or jet skiing, enjoys taking his kids to soccer meets. Gary's been a resident in the Lincoln area for almost 20 years. Again, having knowledge of the area is such a positive for any new employee. The district is pleased to hire talented personnel, and Gary's skills help build and solidify the positions and the necessity of the work that placer crew performs. We at the district are excited to have Gary as part of our team and for the future. So Gary, welcome to
You sure?
Now get
You
to
sure?
work, Gary.
Good to meet everybody. Appreciate it. Always good to be here. Thank you.
You guys started looking for new jobs.
Good morning. My name is Brian Hickey, Equipment Shop Supervisor, and today I would like to introduce two new mechanics to join our team. First one is Josh Pratt. His experience, he has 4 years working for City of Fremont as an equipment mechanic, 5 years working for Pape on John Deere equipment, and 10 years working for Case Equipment. He has a wife and 2 kids, 13-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old boy. He'll be a good addition to our team. Next hire is Jonathan Hoover. He has 10 years experience working at Superior Equipment Repair in Newcastle and 4 years as an equipment mechanic at a ski resort. He has a wife and a 2-year-old daughter. Welcome aboard.
Second thoughts? Having second thoughts this morning?
No, they don't have to come to many board meetings.
Good morning, board, staff, and members of the public. I'm Aurora Tipton, Customer Service Administrator. I'm happy to be here today to introduce Fallon Foster, the district's newest meter reader. Unfortunately, Fallon couldn't be here with us today as she's serving her community at jury duty. Fallon was born in Nevada County and she graduated from Nevada Union High School. More recently, she obtained her Associate of Science in Sustainable Agriculture, from Sierra College. Fallon has been a longtime FFA participant and she still works as a mentor with the local FFA sheep program. Her hobbies include processing and raising livestock, riding horses, and team roping. She lives on a farm in Penn Valley where she raises livestock such as horses, cattle, goats, and various other species. In fact, Fallon is known for bringing home many animals that need a home. Her family likes to say she's an animal collector. Fallon started as a temp, and she's so far been an excellent addition to the customer service department. With her temp service, she's been with us for almost a year, and we're very happy to have her. Thank you.
Any more introductions? I guess we get into let's see, recognition succinct. Who's going to do that? Chip?
Yeah, Valerie.
Oh, wait a minute. Did we forget?
Valerie Kinnan was not available to be here today as well, so she'll be here next week.
She's working.
Next time.
Okay. With that, we get to move to tenure recognition. Morning, board, staff, and public. I'm Chip Close, Water Operations Manager. And I have been asked to request that the board allow us a brief 5-minute recess once we recognize everybody for a picture. So that would be okay if you could grant, that'd be greatly appreciated. So today I get to start off with Sue Sint and recognize her 30 years of service. It's not often we get to get up here to the podium and recognize somebody who's achieved that 30-year mark, so it's a very special event. Unfortunately, Sue, with the changing of the schedule on the board meetings, had a previously scheduled appointment, so she was unable to attend today. However, I'd still like to recognize her for her dedication to the district and give you a brief background. Sue was hired by NID in 1988 as an operations technician. She became a senior operations technician in May of 1992. She moved on to become a hydrographer in 1997, and then became the operations supervisor in March of 1999. In November of 2012, she was appointed a limited term assignment for regulatory and FERC license development, very important position for us, and she played an integral role in that. Following that short stint, she became the Water Resources Superintendent in June of 2014. Sue has a degree in forestry management from Humboldt State and has acquired a Grade 2 water treatment and distribution certification. She's also successfully completed multiple snow survey and hydrology training courses. In fact, recently she's become one of the few qualifying individuals at the state level who are certified for flow gauging station measurement for SB 88 compliance. So pretty cool there. Sue's 30 years with the district puts her at number 3 on the longevity list. There are a few above her even. I think we have somebody here with 35 years. Pretty impressive. Sue always exudes the highest level of knowledge and professionalism in her work. This is what has led her to become one of the most relied upon employees to negotiate important contracts for the district. A short list includes the City of Grass Valley's water supply agreement, the City of Nevada City's water supply agreement, water rights licensing, FERC license renewal agreements, power purchase agreements, and coordinated operating agreements with PG&E, just to name a few. Those are all very large. Sue's attention to detail and wide breadth of knowledge, along with her desire to protect the district and this community, has led to very successful agreements. Crafting and developing these contracts is a full-time job on its own, yet Sue does so while also managing her other daily duties, including water management, water rights tracking and reporting, oversight on backflow program, customer service and dispatching, supervision of the operations technician crews, and others. So quite a varied workload with many different expertises needed, all of which Sue handles with professionalism and an attention to detail that is seldom seen. Speaking of water management, if you asked her what her proudest accomplishments were in the recent history, she would say that during the drought, it's the water management decisions that she deployed that really played an integral part in keeping the district's water storage at the highest levels possible. These efforts helped to protect the community, water supply, and save the ratepayers money by managing the system for maximum efficiency as opposed to having to purchase extra costly water. So, with that, I would like to thank Sue for her 30 years and look forward to enjoying the remaining time with her before she retires. So if you see her in the hall, please thank her.
Thank you. Next is Mark Bolheim.
Yeah, you get to hear me some more. Go ahead.
Mark Bolheim.
Mark Bolheim. So, Mark Bolheim is also unable to attend today, and this is partly due to the item that's in the consent agenda for the operations reorganization. We're very short-staffed at the moment, and he's out doing double check valves at businesses, so previously scheduled outages that he needed to attend. Again, though, I'll give him a brief overview of Mark's career here at the district for 25 years.
Double check valves in agricultural businesses?
All treated water.
Yes, just any commercial, they all have them?
Yes. Yes.
Sorry, thank you.
Mark was hired at the district in 1993 as a storekeeper, became a meter reader in January of 1994, water distribution operator in 1997, an operations technician in 1999, and then was promoted to a senior operations technician in October of 2004. Mark has an Associate of Science degree in Forest Technology and acquired his backflow assembly tester certification in October of 2002. He has his Grade 3 water distribution license and his backflow specialist certification, and he has currently recertified that testing certification 5 times in his career here. So not an easy task. He's had to do it ongoing, and he's accomplished at it. So His current emphasis as a senior operations technician is the administration of the district's backflow program, which includes the annual testing of nearly 1,700 backflow devices. So you can see he has a very busy workload. He accomplishes the annual testing and coordination of the new installations with a great regard for minimizing impacts to the customer. For example, he comes in early before operating hours so as not to affect commercial businesses a lot of times. He also spends a fair amount of time dispatching service calls and speaking to customers that are having problems. He has experience with the distribution system, enables him to troubleshoot and help customers resolve their problems. He has received multiple letters of appreciation from our customer base. Overall, he's a dedicated, experienced employee that can be counted on to make good decisions day to day and when situations arise on weekends or after hours. His off-work time is spent with his family, usually fishing, and he recently felt a great bit of accomplishment when his son graduated from college, so relief there. Anyway, when you see Mark in the halls, please congratulate him for his 25 years.
Thank you. Thanks, Chip. Kim Crabtree, cashier.
It's my pleasure to recognize Kim Crabtree for her 20 years of service at the district. Unfortunately, Kim couldn't be here with us today. But Kim came to the district in 1998 as a part-time office assistant, which soon turned into a full-time position. In 2001, she applied for and accepted the position of customer account assistant. Her job title changed to cashier in 2012. Kim's main responsibilities are processing all of the district's payments and helping our customers at the front counter. Kim's 17 years at the front counter have given her the opportunity to get to know many of the district's customers, and they look forward to seeing Kim when they come into the office. In fact, many customers will ask, "Where's Kim?" when she's out of the office. This is a testament to Kim's dedication to providing excellent customer service. She takes great pride in her work, and I'd like to thank her for her 20 years of service at the district. Thank you.
Okay. Chad Chittock, right? Looks like his name's Sam. Samuel Beaver. Sorry.
Good morning,
Samuel
board
Beaver.
and public. Nathan Mosley, Water Superintendent. Today I get the privilege of introducing to you Sam Beaver. Sam comes to us today to get recognized for his 15 years of service with the district. Sam started as a utility worker in Nevada County in the Maintenance Department on January 6, 2003. After 6 years in the Maintenance Department, Sam decided to change departments and came over to operations as a water distribution operator on June 8, 2009. Sam has worked his way up the ladder to his present position as a water distribution supervisor. After all the retirements and position changes, Sam is now one of the senior employees down in Placer County and is doing a great job leading the crew down there. The operations department is lucky to have a person like Sam to lean on to when times get tough. Sam, on behalf of the district, I'd like to thank you for your 15 years of service.
Yeah. That's a very important position there.
I just try to escape. All right.
Chad Chittock.
We're going to jump a little bit.
Oh, you're
Seeing
going
as
to
Nathan
Nate.
was up here, I thought I would take the opportunity to
Put
not let him
Nate
escape.
to work, right?
So I get to recognize Nathan Wasley for his 15 years of service here with the district. After serving our country through the Army, Nathan came over to NID as a utility worker in maintenance in June of 2003. In September of 2004, he moved to operations where he became a water distribution operator. 2 short years later, he became a senior water distribution operator and then moved up into a crew supervisor position in May of 2009. Finally, he has topped out in the distribution ranks as the water superintendent in January of 2012. Nathan has obtained his grade 4 water distribution certification, and I can tell he's on his way to his 5. Put him on the spot. When reviewing Nathan's 15 years with the district, it's amazing to see how far he has promoted in such a short period of time. He started at the entry-level ranks and worked up to the lead of a division in 10 short years. That's an accomplishment to be proud of. In fact, I expect to see him in REM's seat in 5 years. Nathan is the type of leader that never shies away from a challenge. He's fair and measured. These are good qualities, especially considering he had to be the one denying new water applications during the recent drought period. The last 5 years of distribution operations have been a challenge as the hydrology has swung from drought to flood. Yet Nathan and his crews have adapted and managed the system in the best manner possible to provide maximum benefit to our customers. Whether it be running the system tight in a drought or gutting the canals in a rainstorm to protect property, Nathan can be counted on to spearhead a group that's going to get the job done in a quality manner. As a supervisor, Nathan commands performance, yet always defends his employees to the maximum. He is respected amongst his peers and is a valuable asset to the district. On a more personal level, Nathan has volunteered countless hours coaching a local traveling girls softball team. The team has been very successful and plays teams that are from very populated areas with a large talent pool, such as Sacramento and the Bay Area. Although the Nevada County team has shown that with good coaching and leadership, Nevada County kids are a force to be reckoned with. So I would like to thank Nathan for his community service and for his 15 years with the district. I expect to see him running it in 10.
Okay.
So now
Who's
Chad
next?
Chittick.
Chad, finally here. Here we are.
Fred Waymeyer, Treated Water Superintendent. Chad's here to be recognized for 15 years of service. He started in 2003 with the maintenance department. He was there 2 years as a utility worker, did canal maintenance, spray crew, service and pipe crew. 2 years later, in 2005, he was promoted to water distribution. He worked in Placer County as a route operator in routes 9, 10, 11, and 12. In 2007, he was promoted to water treatment operator 2. He then earned his grade 3 treatment certification. In 2013, he was promoted to water treatment operator 3, and then he earned his grade 4 water treatment. In 2014, he was promoted to chief water treatment plant operator. And then in 2015, he was promoted to water treatment supervisor, where he now oversees 6 treatment plants and 9 operators. Shad's the guy that, with his crew, keep the treated water flowing. He has started a consistent and thorough safety program. He's devised operations plans for most of our complicated pumping stations. He's always trying new procedures and equipment for water treatment plants. He's always putting our systems to the test to assure they're going to operate in unusual conditions. Please join me in congratulating Shad for 15 years of service.
Chad Smith, Hydro.
Morning, board, staff, and public. I am privileged this morning to recognize Chad Smith for his 15 years of service with the district. Chad was hired on at the district as a utility worker 1 in June of 2003. He promoted to utility worker 2 in February of 2006. And in 2009, he promoted to equipment operator. In 2015, he promoted to a senior utility worker. And May of 2016, we were lucky at the hydroelectric department to have Chad come on as the hydro utility worker. You'd have to search far and wide to find someone who could say anything bad about Chad. Before I came here today, I went around the hydro department and I couldn't find one funny story. Everyone just had positive things to say about Chad, which is cool in a working atmosphere. I heard he had a solid work ethic, is reliable, and always eager and willing to jump in and help. He's always up for a challenge and learn new skills to find a resolution to problems that we have. He shows enthusiasm. He always has a positive can-do attitude. When I asked Chad what his favorite part about working with at the district, Chad said he enjoyed the variety of work and the people he works with and for his community. Chad has demonstrated an admirable dedication to his work, his coworkers, and community. So I could go on and on listing lots of good things about Chad, but I wanted to tell a story. It's probably going to go down as one of the legendary hydro department stories that demonstrate Chad's dedication to his community and his coworkers. So 2 winters ago, a large storm moved into the area. The forecast initially just said it was going to be a heavy rain, but a large snow event and then rain event came upon us very quickly in a less than 24-hour period. This significant increase of precipitation could have caused a lot of damage in our upper country and downstream areas. Chad and members of the hydroelectric department quickly mobilized and went up to headed towards the Bowman Powerhouse on the Bowman Lake Road in snowcats in the storm to quickly get the Bowman Powerhouse online in the manner that it needed to and open up the Bowman Spalding Canal and regulate it to adjust for the significant weather event that was coming on. So Chad and the hydro staff headed up in snowcats, and when they got to the Bowman Lake Road at the Canyon Creek crossing, the flow was too high. The spill was coming over the spillway, and it was going to be impossible for anyone to cross, even in the snowcat. Knowing that the Bowman Powerhouse and the canal needed to be readjusted in an effort to prevent significant damage, Chad and 2 hydro employees quickly volunteered to, in the snowstorm, suit up in their snowshoes, traverse up the spillway, across the spillway, over the bullnose that's in between the 2 dams, and then they dug with their snowshoes a stairway to get down to the dam and then make their way to the powerhouse. All of this while there was a significant snowstorm happening, all within a day's period. So Chad was part of this legendary crew. I'm not sure that many of us would volunteer in a snowstorm to go do that, but they did in a calculated and safe manner, and they got the job done, which prevented a lot of damage from occurring, which would impact the community and all the work that would have been done with his coworkers. So with that, I would like to thank Chad for his 15 years of service to the district. May he go down in this legendary fashion. I look forward to a long career.
Chris Thompson. Almost got it.
Good morning, board. My name is Kenton Early, maintenance supervisor. I'm here to recognize Chris Thompson for his 15 years of service with the district. Chris started out as a temp on the labor crew, and after 6 months was offered a permanent job in 2003. Chris was assigned to the labor crew and spent the first 2 years of his career working on the canal system. During this time period, Chris was called upon to assist the vegetation maintenance and service crews as their workloads increased. In 2005, Chris was moved to the service crew. During this time, Chris was able to gain knowledge in the field of plumbing and service line repairs. In 2006, Chris was moved yet again to the construction crew. During this time, he was able to gain knowledge on carpentry and forming concrete Fornet. 2007 to 2015, Chris was moved back to the service crew. During this time, he filled the role of a USA locator and definitely helped out the district a lot in that, keeping the line from getting hit. In 2016, Chris was assigned to the canal maintenance crew, and then in 2017 he transferred to the construction crew, where he is currently. His roles include laying pipe and emergency service line repairs. Chris approaches his work day with a positive attitude and is well liked by his peers. And I want to thank him for his 15 years of service.
Next, Robert Vogelman.
Morning, directors. Fred Waymeyer, Water Treatment Superintendent. Rob couldn't be here. He's started his 3-day weekend. So I'd like to recognize Rob for 10 years of service. Rob started as a temp in 2007, and then he was brought back permanently in 2008 with the maintenance department, where he was a utility worker. He did canal maintenance, spray crew, service crew, and the pipe crew. He earned his T2 treatment certification and his D3 distribution certification while in maintenance. He was promoted to distribution operator in 2010. He worked both in Nevada and Placer counties. He worked his way up to a D4 distribution certification while in distribution. 2014, he was promoted to operations technician, and he also obtained his backflow certification. And then this year in 2018, he was promoted to water treatment operator 2. He's already passed his grade 3 test, and he's already proven he can handle stressful situations in the water treatment as a water treatment plant operator. So please join me in congratulating Rob for his 10 years of service.
Timothy Rowe. Timothy Rowe.
You know, as a superintendent, you get people that you can really rely on. This guy is that guy. Tim came to the district in January of 2008 with an extensive background in residential and commercial construction, primarily with the framing and concrete phases. These skill sets and his overall building knowledge made Tim another valued employee to the maintenance department. Tim also used his leadership skills to advance to a Utility 2 position in July of 2010, and then promoted to a senior utility worker in October of 2016. During this collective time frame, Tim worked on the construction crew, which utilized the skills that Tim had been developing for his whole working career. On February 2017, Tim was promoted to his current position as the Canal Maintenance Supervisor. Again, Tim's skills are apparent as he develops employees to the many maintenance processes and projects that the canal maintenance crew performs. Between the carpentry work, canal brushing, raw water service, and the maintenance of remote siphons and piping systems, as well as the access road maintenance and berm repair, this work takes place over a 200-mile system of canals through 2 counties, which Tim also has a very solid knowledge of. Tim has been involved with many maintenance projects. Some that stand apart were the rebuilding of the B Canal headworks, which address the potential for an overwhelming amount of surface rainwater, as well as the encasement of the Newtown headworks. Both these locations had challenges to the district with the potential to flood and compromise the district's ability to supply water. Another was the repair on a section of the lower Grass Valley Canal that was severely damaged from a slide and felled trees during the heavy rains of 2017. There were many hands that were involved in the repair of these events, but Tim was greatly appreciated for his leadership and direction he brought to the crew. Tim has also set and achieved some educational goals for himself by obtaining a Water Distribution Operator D3 certification. We acknowledge Tim today for his dedicated 10 years of his time and energy to his career, and I, as well as NID, are greatly appreciative of his value to our department and the district. Thank you, sir.
Frank Renna.
Here's a tall glass of water.
Good morning, board. Thank you for your time this morning for me to present Frank Reyna on his 10 years with the district. Frank started back in 6/2 of 08. He started with the maintenance department down in Placer County, where he did a wide range of skills from helping out on pipeline repairs, service line repairs, canal maintenance work. He was a good carpenter down there. He was a big time help down there. And during that time, he acquired his grade 2 water distribution license. So in 2012, he moved to the to the operations department and became a WDO down in Route 13 down in Placer County. He has great customer service and he did very well down there. 2 years later, he became a relief down in the same area where he covered routes 9, 11, 12, and 13 from one time to another, and he did really well. Now he is running Route 11 down there permanently. He's really great with customer service. I mean, I've never heard any complaints about him at all, or none. So he's doing really well. He's gets along great with his peers, and he does a great job, and I just want to thank him on his great 10 years here, and please help me in congratulating him.
Chip, I think you had a request for a picture?
Yeah, 5-minute recess.
Okay, so we take a 5-minute break, 5 to 10-minute break.
I think in the past they used to gather.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah.
President on the bench.
Okay.
before, because I was doing this conference. Common sense. Common sense.
Meeting again. We're on item number 3. Director Weber has asked that we obtain some information on item 3 that was in the consent agenda.
So, my questions, to begin, the cross-connection control technician. It's required by Title 17 and 22 of the California Code of Regulations, but I don't know what those are, and I'm trying to get a scope on what this job is and how it's emerged and where it's going.
Okay. Great question. Title 17 and 22 are from the California Code of Regulations, and they are the rules and regulations that are set forth for the drinking water industry. More specifically, Title 17 deals with those locations that have multiple sources of water supply and potential contaminants and require backflow. That's really what this position is all about, is backflow protection of the district system. Previously, those duties were held through the operations technician's position, but shared with multiple other duties in their job description. There are becoming so many backflow devices in our system that we've had to pull this out now and create it as its own position, and that's why you're seeing it today.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome.
Any questions on item 3 from public? Comment? Okay.
So I move, do you want me to make a motion now?
Yeah.
I move for the approval of item number 3.
I second that.
Motion and second.
Division 1,
Aye.
Division 3,
Second that emotion.
your mic's on.
Good. Yes.
Division 5,
Yes, aye.
Division 4.
Yes. Okay, item number 4, Director Weber.
So, I have a question about the graphic, the department, I'm trying to think of the name.
It's just the
Second
schematic of what's going on. Yes, ma'am.
So, there are several senior engineers here, 4.
Correct.
And how many do we employ now?
We have 2 senior engineers and 2 associate engineers at this time, ma'am.
So will they be promoted, or will these jobs be advertised?
No, they will be promoted. Our intent is to promote them from associate engineers to senior engineers. They're functioning the same duty at this time, except for supervision responsibilities and other responsibilities. So in essence, they've been straddling to the senior engineer position because of our workloads, basically.
Okay, so there will be a salary increase connected with?
Yes, it's addressed in the bottom of the bottom of the item.
$117,000.
For 2018, we're looking at about $23,000. However, we are not going to fill a position of a senior engineering tech, and it creates a savings to the district of $97,000. What we have an engineering tech position in our survey department that we've kept unfilled for about a year, and we found out that with new technology and how we've structured the department, restructured the department over the last few years, we are not looking to fill that position in the near future. Okay, thank you.
I make motion?
Sure.
I move for the approval of item number 4.
Second? Anybody have a second? I guess I can make a second.
You just did.
Yep, second.
I'm sorry, who is my second, please?
You're chairman of the
Oh.
board.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call?
Division 1.
Aye.
Division 3.
Aye.
Division 5.
Aye.
Division 4.
Aye. General orders, number
Thank you.
11, Maven Canal Encasement Project.
Thank you.
Is that you, Gary?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're on.
Wish I wouldn't have stepped in. The purpose of this item is to, give me a second, please.
Huh. All items to give you a second. Interesting item.
All items.
Purpose of the item is to give you a second. Why not ask for more? I'll chill out. Yes, sir.
It's a second is a philosophical conversation of time. Thank you. Okay.
Good answer.
Yes. Board, public, and staff, my name is Gary King. I'm engineering manager for the district. This is item 11 on the board agenda. The intent of this is to approve a contract for the Maven Canal Encasement Project, Phase 2, FATAR number 8099. This is a raw and treated water project. The intent is to award a construction contract to Hanson Brothers Enterprises for the Maven Canal Encasement Project Phase 2 in an amount of $678,669 and authorize the general manager to execute the necessary documents. In essence, as stated with Maven 1, we have a canal that's been on moratorium for 17 plus years. Actually, we have heard indications back to 1985. The intent of this is to move the canal out of the backyards they're in right now and move it out in the roadway. This is the first phase of the final, there's phase 3 as shown on the map on the back. The district is recommending to move forward with this. A public meeting was held with the neighborhood on January 30th, 2018, and it was discussed. And the future abandonment of the canal was discussed. 4 property owners attended the meeting. The project was evaluated by a professional environmental consultant. The resultant findings was supported in notice of exemption. Notice of exemption was filed on May 2018 with the county in the state clearinghouse per statute. As stated, the pipeline is an 18-inch pipeline. We received 3 bids for the contract, and we bid out to 10 contractors. The base bid for Hanson's was $628,000, but we also added in a chunk of water pipeline. Since we're going to be in the road and resealing the road, we felt we could extend the water line at the same time, and that was part of this job. And then we have Western Engineer $697 and T&S Construction $784. The budget for this project, $628,583, which is the raw water component, comes out of raw water improvements 10151-52910. The current budget for the project is $1 million. For this program. The $50,086 is coming from Community Investment Program to extend. If there's future connections, very few connections can be done on this, then we'd be able to recover some of the costs through future connections by the pipeline reimbursement policy. As shown on the map, I think we showed phase 2 and 3. It is a recommendation to staff to approve this contract with Hanson Brothers for his work, and if there's any questions. Yes, Director.
You say there's not that many connections. Doesn't the enhancement of this canal allow the Kyler and the Viette further down?
I'm probably misspoke on that, Director Miller. The basic thing is there's not many connections we anticipate on the treated water, but it gets us on the treated water. On the raw water, we are in constraint. There are multiple people waiting to get water service from this area. It's been this way for a long period of time.
And one of the things I've advocated from the day, yes, and I thank you from South County. We are becoming a improving infrastructure sparse
We're
community, but it's getting better every day, and I thank you for all your efforts in all these ways.
Thank you, sir. Yes, Director.
I have questions about treated water.
Yes, ma'am.
Line.
Microphone, man.
Thank you.
Your microphone's off.
Microphone?
Your microphone is turned off.
I'm sorry. And I whine when you don't do it.
I know. So I had to say something.
I know. I don't blame you. So, is this a transmission line?
No, ma'am. It's an 8-inch water line. So if, and really how we made the decision on this, and let me go through the decision process, is we looked at it and we had a small chunk of pipeline we could put in as part of this project. We also looked at it's for $50,000, that's a relatively cheap chunk of pipe. Nothing's cheap, $50,000 is $50,000. But by us resealing the road and everything like that, it's really prudent care to run this pipeline at the same time. And then as noted in the map, our intent is to run the next section when we do the next section. That's the intent. We don't see that many people, but it gets us another farther down the road type model we've been working on.
So there was not community participation in this then?
Actually, when we did the advertisement for the people on, about the canal, those people were included. But as far as advertising, we have a water line available, we have not done that at this time.
Okay.
Not till it's approved by the board and installed, then we'll go out and have Shannon do her due diligence.
So this is a little bit different approach in the beginning?
It's similar to our BET project, except it's an 8-inch water line, whereas
Okay.
we're using pipeline reimbursement policy to recover those costs in the future.
Okay.
So then any future customers are paying their fair share of the cost to the district. And I think
Right.
that's been something that's been brought up to the board from some of the constituents.
Yep. Good. Thank you.
Were there any issues with the property owners in the abandonment process?
No, the owners were very supportive. Director Wilcox.
Yeah, I'll just say, I did attend the public meeting, and there was pretty much unanimous, 4 parcels were here, but there was clear support for this project, and no concerns raised.
They were very nice.
Okay. Are there any questions from the audience, from the public? Any public comment?
It's a recommendation of the engineering department to approve this contract with Hanson Brothers as indicated.
I move for item 11, the Maven County Casement Project Phase 2, award construction contract, Hanson Brothers Enterprises, in the amount listed in the agenda, and authorize general manager to execute the necessary documents.
I'll second that.
Motion second? Oh, did you, sorry. Did you second?
Yes, I did.
Division 1,
Aye.
Division 3,
He seconded that emotion. My microphone was on that time, yes?
Division 5,
Aye.
Division 4.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Motion passed. General Manager's report. Greg Jones.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, board, staff, and public. I'm Greg Jones, Assistant General Manager.
To be clear, acting general manager.
Acting General Manager. General Manager is taking a well-deserved holiday at this point. I will go into our reservoir storage at this point in time. As of July 11th, storage is 243,013 acre feet. That's 112% of average and 90% of our overall capacity. So we're doing pretty good at this point. Bowman Lake precipitation as of July 11th, precipitation is 0 inches this year. That's because the water year starts on July 1. As of last year, as the end of June 2018, we ended last year water year at 99% of overall average. So we're doing pretty good up there as well. Treated water, our treated water usage year-over-year comparison on our conservation side in 2018, we have conserved to date 19% over our 2013 years. And this month in June, or June last month, we had an average of 15% conserved throughout the district. So we're doing pretty great there. Regarding our projects, our engineering work that's out there, our staff is working diligent, consultants are working diligent to get the work done. A number of highlights that are going on right now. The Hemp Hill, as far as Hemp Hill update, at the August 21st We'll come to the August 21st Engineering Committee. We'll have an Hemp Hill update at that point. Penn Valley Phase 3 is complete with the exception of a few areas that are needed for easements. This will complete the Penn Valley work with the exception of these easement areas, and asphalt paving work is being done. Pipeline work at Rattlesnake Road is complete, and now work on the pressure testing station is what we're going to be working on soon. Final connection for Fay Road pipeline is being done as we speak today. That's going to be done after today. We've received 12 applications for the Iron Horse project, and the next step is getting the deposits for these projects. So we'll be calling in the folks. Yes.
Expand the math on that. 12 out of how many? Is it the 60%? Is that?
Chip, thank you.
I keep expecting this to fall away again because it's difficult.
They have, as of now, met the criteria, and they're moving into the next phase.
Is 12 the minimum?
It's, I believe, one above. Somewhere
Okay,
in that
so
neighborhood. They're very close.
Yeah.
But they have successfully
But
made it to the next step,
we have done it?
and will
Okay.
continue forward. Yes. We've made it this far with them once before. We'll keep our fingers crossed that we continue moving in a successful manner.
I appreciate the digression and the interruption.
No worries.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good clarification. Okay, so regarding the Rock Creek Intertie project, completion was approved by the APC on July 3rd, 2018. This will be the completion of the project. Biological surveys are currently being done. The main building expansion, this building we're sitting in here right now, will be discussed at the upcoming engineering committee meeting in August? Correct? Yes. So we'll be discussing that in August. Regarding the raw water master plan, a press release went out on July 16th, 2018. We also have had submission of 3 facilitators to that raw water master plan project, and staff is reviewing those submittals right now.
Which press release were you talking about?
Press release went out on July 16th.
It was published the same day as your op-ed.
Correct.
It's on the website.
Yep.
It's a shortened version of your op-ed.
Yes, very short.
But they said there was nothing else besides the op-ed.
There was
I
a
thought
press
mine was
release.
a press release.
Interesting. So there was a press release when people said we didn't do a press release.
July 16th.
Interesting.
July
Imagine that.
16th.
I listened. I just listened.
A few other items of note. Staff submitted a $1 million grant proposal to the Sierra Nevada Conservancy as a placeholder in order to do forest thinning work on the southeastern portion of Scotts Flat. So we're looking to create a reduction of fire fuel break around Scotts Flat in general, in connection with many other projects that are going on in that area. The Centennial audit will be brought to the August 22nd Board of Directors meeting. It was not on this meeting today, as the general manager was not here. On the August 8th board meeting, we will be canceling that board meeting due to the Nevada County Fair. That is the opening morning of the Nevada County Fair, and most of the board members will be attending that morning.
We have historically always.
And we have
I was gonna say,
historically
as
been
we've
canceling
typically
that
done. Yeah.
every year.
Will the general audit also be on the second board meeting in August?
August 22nd.
So that's the centennial audit, but the general audit will also be on that same day?
Let me confirm with Marvin.
September 12th.
That'll be on
September
September
12th.
12th. Great.
Okay,
September 12th board meeting.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought there was some attempt to have the auditor address both issues at once to,
It's okay.
I had to get a 30-day extension on the production of the CAFR to the end of August.
Okay.
To get that GFOA award.
For the general one you're
For the
talking
general
about.
audit, yeah.
okay.
Little acronyms in there. I wasn't sure what you were saying.
So that'll be on the September
Okay.
12th
Great,
agenda,
thanks.
the general audit.
Okay.
Are you advocating we delay the Centennial until they can run it together?
No, I think, I mean, it's just a question of bringing the auditors up twice. And
Marvin, do you want to come up to the podium if you got more to comment on that?
Our audit is going after that, the GFOA certification for like the third year in a row. And so we had to request an extension to the end of August to be able to produce it. And so therefore we have to push it back to bring it to the board to the 12th.
Okay, that's fine. No, I'm certainly not suggesting that we delay the centennial audit.
Okay.
I think that should come up in due course. I was just hoping that we could basically kill both birds with one stone and pay the auditors for one trip instead of two trips.
They love it up here.
Oh, they love it
They
up
don't
here.
mind coming.
Well, we've spent a great deal of money on the centennial audit.
There we go.
And any economy is probably good.
Okay.
As long as we get the job done.
Okay. Great.
Is that it, Mr. Jones?
One more item. Just want to remind the board and the public and the staff that NID has already sent out a Save the Date press release. We will be hosting a CCA Community Choice Aggregate Roundtable meeting on August 23rd at 6 p.m. at the Ponderosa Hall, which is at the Nevada County Fairgrounds. And that we hope that all community members and interest of Community Choice Aggregate will be attending.
What?
Community Choice Aggregation.
So what are we talking
Pioneer
about?
Power generation regarding for Nevada County. Rem's mentioned it. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
It's called the Community Choice Aggregation.
Yep.
It's an exploratory roundtable discussion with community leaders and members and municipalities throughout Nevada County. I can explain more to you if you'd like.
Appreciate that description. That's sufficient. I just
Okay.
wasn't sure what you were talking about.
Okay,
That's all.
moving on, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Good job.
Board of Directors items reports. Who wants to go? You want to go first?
Flip it.
Go ahead. Go for it.
You let me know when you decide.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
You're on.
They never
I've been
asked me to go
inactive
first.
She's going.
I've been inactive because I broke my leg. And I am healing, and I am going to finish my term. I will be at every board meeting from now on, and all committee meetings. Thank you.
Nancy's
I think that's a
tough
testament to
one.
you. Like I said, most of us would be sitting around and complaining, but you come to work.
Oh, you guys are just too interesting. I can't leave you alone.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Thank you for the compliment. You guys.
People, yes, you people.
You guys.
I'm
a guy.
there.
Scott?
Okay, so, boy, I go away for a week and everything hits the fan of some sorts. So I did the SDLA Special Districts Leadership Academy so that we could get this certificate that saves us to the tune of $10,000. So there's the certificate. Here's the credit card. I'm returning both. Christy said I didn't need to bring it in until now. I was going to bring it in the other day. Conference itself, interesting. I was burping up some of what I digested when I was trying to, in the minute there with everybody all fired up. This is what that's why you go, you listen. So the first session was building a foundation of good governance, review of the Brown Act and all that. It was kind of, we all knew while we were there. Interesting, the diversity and how big we are versus a lot of the smaller special districts. Fulfilling, the next session was fulfilling the district's mission, charting the course, and this was a lot about strategic planning, and I felt that we have made several attempts, and it's encouraged that you continue to do that sort of thing. Not really a wine drinker, so I didn't go to the sip and savor reception. Defining board and staff roles and relationships, Tuesday morning, and it went into Tuesday afternoon, and that's where I was going with everybody. It's like, specifically, they're talking to the board, work with staff. They don't get enough recognition. They're being pulled in 4 different directions, and common courtesies that you can do, such as on the warrants, which is the point I was trying to make, not to be argumentative, but give people a chance to, if you want the right answer, if they got a little lead time, they can really give you the right answer. So that was morning and afternoon, a lot of that. I'm synopsizing, obviously. The Tuesday afternoon was getting the word out, and this was interesting. And I listened, and boy, you know, transparency and what we're dealing with everybody. And I brought some pages home to give to Rem because the particular speaker in the afternoon kind of started going into being aggressive in your messaging, because if you don't message it, others will message it for you. Fair enough, kind of what we see around here. I don't know with everybody, but it was good, and the lady was really into media and social media, and boy, I just sit there and go, all right, it's the modern world. I mean, they literally go on, some of these are from the Bay Area and stuff, and they're in Facebook and everywhere. So that was the get the word out, best practices, communication, and outreach. So it was a good talk. And then the following morning was, they did the budget. Shout out to Marvin. And all the line items, they, dissected budgets and how they are and what they are, and quizzed us on did we know the different categories, but I think they did that one last, so we had to stay for our certificate because it was accounting. Interesting in the one with the boards and relationships, I brought home a thing that we could do. It's a test, kind of if there used to be a magazine called Cosmopolitan, and they always had quizzes in there, and you do it and add up your points kind of format. And that's what this is with regards to assessing governing board's effectiveness. And we all promised that we would bring it to our board if the board was interested in doing it at such time. So, interesting old stomping grounds down there. My children were born in Napa. I hadn't been down there for a while. The Quercus lobata, a valley oak that I'd planted when my first son was born in 1989, I was pleased to see still was in the front yard of the house I used to own, and it was getting to have a girth of 20 inches and 50 to 70 feet tall. I can't imagine them cutting it down now, but I planted it because they were endangered, and it's now almost 30 years old. And instead of going to the Sip and Savor reception, I went out to the Yountville Cemetery. Had a friend with me, so we went out, and you could always see the ghost out there if the environment was right. And lo and behold, the ghost came out for me. It was so cool. Tracing back to 1979, the last time I'd been to the Yountville Cemetery, and it's a curiosity of the lights. The highway's over here, Highway 29, and you're in the old veteran cemetery, and when you go to the back wire, there's no roads, it's an empty valley, but here come the lights at you behind the tree. It's so cool when it happens. Anyway, it was a fun trip. I feel like I learned something and brought some things back.
For Nancy's benefit, I'll move this right in front of my mouth. I'd just like to announce that during the September 26th board meeting, Victoria Whitney will be coming to present to us Water Rights 101 and some other issues related to water rights. Vicki is my old boss. She was at various times the head of the hearings unit, head of the Bay Delta unit. She was chief of the Division of Water Rights, and then she became deputy director of the entire State Water Resources Control Board. After which she then became chief of the SWRCB Division of Water Quality. So she has a very broad background and is an expert in this area. So she will be presenting Water Rights 101. I've asked her to pay specific attention to area and county of origin issues and the whole concept of due diligence in water rights. So she'll be presenting for approximately an hour, and she's planning to leave half an hour for questions. So if you have any interest in getting informed in these areas, this is your opportunity to talk to somebody who is the recognized expert. She will be adapting her presentation from presentations that she actually did in China. She was invited by the Chinese government on multiple occasions to go to China and teach them about California water rights. So she knows her stuff.
So Nick, will that be in the form of a board workshop, or will it be part of?
It'll be within the, yeah, it's really a board workshop within the confines of the agenda for that day. So we'll carve out time on that day to do this. It won't be, it'll be within the board meeting structure, but we'll do it as in a workshop format.
Okay. So can we advertise this, please? Can we get press release? I guess Susan's gone out.
Yeah.
So the
yes.
community is aware.
Absolutely.
But that's why I'm announcing it now, to give the community lead time and get the word out. And I see Tracy writing furiously, so that's a good thing.
Thanks.
Is that it, Nick? That's it. I don't have anything this week.
I'll turn it on. That's it.
So I guess we stand adjourned till August 22nd.